It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace Man, Paul here in Missouri. I was watching the news with you and Rudy, and I think you inadvertently coined a new phrase. You've got AI, which is artificial intelligence, and you've got EI, which is estrogen influx. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Rudy's here. Everyone loves Rudy and his news.
What's going on?
We'll do that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking down on my list of things to talk about. I had an interesting thought. Well, I think it's interesting. I kind of think everything means something. Like I don't take anything as light. You know, if you see a neighbor walking down the street, you're standing on your porch, and that neighbor's walking to get his mailbox, and he picks up a piece of garbage that somebody left and puts it in a trash can and walks back. You go, okay, that's a good neighbor. That's a good dude. That guy's kind of universally good.
Yes.
And if you saw another neighbor like walking down the street and their dog was sniffing and they kicked the dog in the ribs, you'd go, okay, that's an asshole neighbor. Now you go, what do you know about that person? Well, all you know is that guy picked up a piece of garbage and that guy kicked his dog. But I think I know a lot about that person. And that's kind of how I roll. Like, most people, for some reason, don't do that. Like, when I saw the clip, and we always play it, it's worth playing it again, and Andrew's got to look for it because I didn't talk to him. But when I saw the clip of Joe Biden, like, standing up on stage, holding a microphone, explaining that he was two-time Fulbright scholarship. He's the top of his law class, and he's the only dual major law student that's ever been sent from Cornell. And then it was lying about everything, and he was like 55. I'm like, that guy's just super flawed, fucked up, narcissistic, broken person.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, everything that guy says is now suspect. I've never talked to my son about his business ever. You were just standing in front of a group telling me you won the Lombardi Trophy and the Outlander Trophy and the Butkus Award, and you're the top of your law class, and you're at the bottom of your law class, and you didn't do any of that stuff. So now people go, it's just a politician's up there bragging. Maybe his memory didn't. Are you kidding? That is a sociopath.
Sure.
That's an insane sociopath.
I went to law school.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's go. It's good. The whole clip is awesome. And by the way, it's back when news used to be news. It's back when they would, on ABC or NBC, go after a Democrat. This is great.
The new questions stem from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a full-blown sociopath.
Yep.
Okay. And for me, I go, something's wrong with that. Now, Trump explaining that when he gets elected, he's going to turn everything into gold is different. It's weird. It's like there's blowhards that talk about being big man on campus and star of the high school team or something. It's different than what Biden does. Mm-hmm. And what Trump does is a blowhardy version of it. But it was an interesting thing. So here's what I was looking at. Somebody showed a clip, and it was over the weekend. It was a UFC fight. Paulo Costa, I guess, won his fight. And he jumps over the fence. He's going to say hi to Trump, which is what all these guys do. All the UFC guys love Trump. All the merit-based people love Trump. Airline pilots and stuff like that. It's this faculty, school, teacher, lounge folk that don't like
Sure.
Trump,
Yeah.
the fucking super
Yeah.
lazy fucks
The
who don't
people
do
with no
anything.
merits.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Things who don't compete or do anything. So all the people that compete love Trump. So he jumps over, and we'll just show you the clip. He wants to say hi to Trump, and he just wins his fight. I don't know what round he won it in, but it doesn't matter. He just finished a UFC fight. You can play it. And Trump grabs his hand. Now, his hand is a sweaty, bloody piece of mess because he just got done pummeling someone with his right hand, and Trump won't let go of his hand, which has to be wet.
Yeah.
With sweat, saliva, maybe blood. Trump's not wearing a glove. Trump just grabbed onto his hand. Now he touches his sweaty arm with his other hand. Now he starts touching his leg. This guy is one big petri dish sucking up sweat. By the way, he's not wiping his hands. He's not going for a rag. He grabs his hand again. So's Dana White. Okay, here's what I'm saying. That's a dude. That's a dude. That's not Mr. Purell. That's not triple mask. That's not, you know where that's been or what about that. It's different. There's a mindset. I don't think you wouldn't find Kamala Harris doing that. And by the way, I look, the guy reaches out, you give him the bump, and you retreat, but you don't hang on to a wet, sweaty leather glove, which again, it's got his sweat, it's got the other guy's sweat, it's got blood,
teeth,
spit,
whatever,
DNA, whatever's on there. And then his whole body's covered with sweat, and you're touching him.
And he wipes his hair with his right hand and then shakes his hand after that. One of the best pieces of advice I was ever given, I was working construction, like 17 years old. My grandfather was still alive. My grandfather had this guy that he had hired during the summer. He was a little bit older than I was, probably like in his mid-20s, but he said to me, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And it completely changed my life. It completely changed. How you do one thing is, and I think about that every time I write a joke or every time I clean my car or every time I put out, I write a script. I just go, are you going to finish this or aren't you? Because if you can finish cleaning your car, you can finish the goddamn script and you can do it professionally.
Yes, which is not exactly apples to apples for what I'm talking about.
But I'm saying
a good message for the kids anyway.
Yeah, but like you shake a guy's hand, it's all sweaty. You're also, how you do one thing is how you do everything. You're not grossed out by that guy, which means you're probably a guy that can mix it up with other people. You can be germy. You're okay with it.
You are okay on a construction site because a construction site is a lot of sweaty dudes.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
A lot of guys all lifting up something at the same time, and you're getting your other guy's shit all over you, and it's kind of a eating lunch, just sort of sitting on the ground, you know, sitting on a pile of bricks and eating stuff, putting your sandwich down on the side of the brick, you know, like it's a dude move, and that is, and you know that it doesn't, you know, I wouldn't know. By the way, I kind of would know something about that guy's foreign policy, which is fuck with this country and you get blown up, because he's the same guy who doesn't care about all the sweat.
See what I mean?
On the guy. All right. Let's see. You got news?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Let's jump into it. A new bill dubbed the Stop Nick Shirley Act passed its first hurdle in California's legislature late Tuesday. The bill's movement comes after 24-year-old independent journalist Nick Shirley published a 40-minute video on hospice fraud in the state. His video racked up 42 million views on X and has brought public scrutiny to California's funded Medicare programs. Other investigations have found that a single program is causing the state to hemorrhage $6 billion in fraud annually.
Right. So we got to stop it. Now, okay, couple things. Politicians, look, this is their constituency, and they don't really care about fraud. They care about their constituency, and you experienced it in Minnesota. That's what's going on. But here's the thing about politicians in the past. They had to feign some sort of sincerity or some sort of caring, you know what I mean? Which is out the window now. And you can find another one of my favorite clips was the Nancy Pelosi, when they were asking her during the Summer of Love, like, people are tearing down statues. Don't you think they should get a permit for that or something? And she goes, people are just, they're going to do what they do. They do. It's like, you're not, you have to feign. Okay, Nancy Pelosi, your constituency are the animals that's burning the city to the ground, but you have to pretend like you don't like it, even though you do like them and you want their vote. Mm-hmm. But you have to pretend when we put a mic in front of you. So this thing That's your constituency. It's all immigrants. It's Somalis, I guess. There's actually a clip of Nick talking about it, which, by the way, we should probably play. The Somalis, where you're from, Armos, where I'm from, but that's their protected group. These are immigrants. These are poor. By the way, they're harder working and contribute more and pay more taxes and use less than we do. Mm-hmm. Did you know that about the Somalis?
I mean, I was definitely aware, for
Except
sure.
for 80% of them are on welfare. But okay, but that's the rap, right? That's how it works. So we used to feign an interest in this. And what we would do is you would get up there and you'd go, I'm outraged by this fraud. That's taxpayer money, and I'm here to fight for that. And then you'd go back and do nothing. Now you're releasing bills saying we can't uncover the fraud.
Yeah, one of the things that they talk about is these people are not allowed to put out any sort of content with the intent to threaten, intimidate, or incite violence, which is basically them just putting out facts, and then they just go, well, you only put that to incite violence.
Well, let's see if we can just get a 10,000-foot view of this. You are for a secure border and you're against illegal immigration, but if somebody says, I want to build a wall at the border, you say you're going to tear it down. And if someone in Texas tries to put barbed wire over the Rio Grande, you sue Texas to get it taken down. So are you against this thing? And you're against fraud, except for you're going to attack Elon Musk when he puts together a thing called Doge and burn his dealerships. And you're against fraud, but you're releasing a bill to essentially attack the guy who uncovered the fraud. So you're against these things, except for there's no part of your action that ever seems against any of these things. And now you're in a really weird position because you have to go through your political life saying, I'm against this and I'm against fraud and I'm for a closed and stout border, except for everything I do is to repel both those things. Mm-hmm. And now I'm confused as a voter, except for I'm not. I know what you want. Yes.
And in the wording of this language, journalism is pernicious now.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's hear Nick. Let's hear his response to this.
All right, check this out. This is a bit crazy. California Democrats advance Stop Nick Shirley Act to criminalize investigative journalism. So after I expose widespread fraud all across America, and quite frankly, states like Minnesota and California are just the worst at it, letting fraud take place, especially inside of immigrant communities. For instance, the Somalians in Minnesota and then the Armenians in California. And so now they're trying to silence anybody who exposes fraud inside of California. For instance, if this bill is passed, the Quality Leering Center that was in Minnesota would be protected from being exposed. That is absolutely crazy. And the crazy thing about this is the person who is proposing this bill, her name is Mia Bonta. Her husband is the Attorney General of California. And so let's say you expose fraud. This is what could happen to you inside the state of California. You could get a misdemeanor, a $10,000 fine, imprisonment, and your content forced to be deleted. That is absolutely crazy. It is time for people to either stand up or we face mass oppression from those that rule us.
Oh, no kings. Yeah. I'm going to go down a no kings march.
Yeah.
Okay. Rob Bonta is the AG of California. His wife is putting this ahead. First off, would you get your bitch on a leash? Jesus Christ. If my fucking wife said, I got a plan, I'm going to go I'd go, look, sweetheart, you know what that's going to look like for fucking me?
Sure.
We're going to look like idiots. And by the way, you're going to look like you're aiding and abetting fraud. And my job is to stop fraud. Think about the optics of it.
Yeah.
So that's insane. Also, it kind of proves they don't care anymore. Like, just fuck it. I'm just going to, like, there used to be an optics thing where someone go, you know what that looks like? This is also chick think. Chicks will fucking just say anything and do anything. I'm going to put a bill ahead that says it's like Nithya Raman talking about catalytic converters. Like, bitch, shut up. You don't fuck. You got to hear what you sound like with this shit. You're blaming Toyota for people stealing catalytic converters. You're nuts.
Yeah.
That sounds insane. This is a feminine trait. It's kind of the. Again, when they pull the guy off the airplane who's been battling with the stewardess for the last hour, you'll always hear the women's voice yelling, "What's going on?" That's not them saying what's going on. That's them saying, I can't control my mouth. I can't control my brain. I just, fucking shit just comes flying out. You know what I mean?
This goes back to the phone call earlier. It is EI, estrogen influx.
Yes. And so California is the most feminine governmental state. And thus we get the most crazy fucking ideas of any place in the land.
And the website they use is ChatCNT.
Rob Bonta, this is his wife.
You should go down a rabbit hole on Bonta. He's a bad dude.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Really?
He's a piece of shit. And also, but it's great. But he's a Latina. He's a Latina color or whatever. This affirmative action, as we used to call it, DEI stuff. People have no idea the damage this has caused. Taking inept fucking dumbos and putting them in positions of power because they're Hispanic or black or lesbian or female or whatever.
But all these people have zero moral compass. Zero moral compass.
He's a fucking idiot.
I believe that Bonta is tied to the investigation on the Duong people in the Bay Area that Oakland mayor had to step down. She's investigated by the FBI.
We need more females in positions of color.
So essentially, I do think that in this case, Bonta has buried himself into a corner of turning a blind eye to stuff that he knows or he is possibly implicated in. And now his wife is they're double timing, trying to cover everybody's ass by trying to.
But hold on, former Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao.
Yeah.
But that's a woman and a minority, so they're better.
Oh, she's better.
They don't do stuff. Indicted on federal bribery and corruption charges.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it turns out bitches are better at this than dudes were.
The Duong family, and I'm not entirely correct on all this, 100% accurate, but I believe what they were doing was they sold the city of Oakland refurbished containers, storage containers that were supposed to be refurbished to become homeless housing.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
And they were charging like $300,000 for one of these. The city of Oakland ordered 1 million of them. There were kickbacks everywhere.
I know. And then the plan is really,
and Bonta is buried in this somewhere.
You really expect we're asking you to investigate your friends, basically, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
By the way, it's all they accuse Trump of is lawfare.
And this stuff better come back and bite these people in the ass that go down to like the Trump rallies and they basically record people and ask them questions that are loaded to make them look like idiots. And then all they do is just post the highlight reel of people saying stupid stuff and go, look at all these yokels over at the Trump rally. Okay, well, it works the same way then. If you don't want it to post anything that incites violence or to humiliate, well, then guess what? This is all underneath this bill as well.
There has never been
the whole plan, just like they did with COVID and big tech, is just intimidate people into staying home and being silent, essentially. Because as we found out with J6, if the wrong people are in charge, they can fucking ruin your life. I mean, that's kind of the implication.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Sorry.
Wisconsin sheriff sues Pakistani-American woman who said ICE detained her for 2 days when she was actually at a hotel spa. We got video of this.
Good. Sue that bitch. By the way, where are all the stories? Let me tell you something. There's two things. I've heard my whole life about Africanized killer bees coming to California from Mexico. I've never seen one. No one's ever been killed by a killer bee. It's never happened. It's 40 years on. All I hear is about ICE detaining people and disappearing people and doing all this. I never see the actual person. Shouldn't there be some guy who's released from prison with a big gray beard who goes, I was just mowing my lawn and I was mistaken for a Mexican and they disappeared? All you guys do is talk about stuff, but nothing ever comes out the other end.
Yeah.
It's basically their white supremacy is the biggest problem this country faces. Really? Because every time I turn on my phone, it's just some black kid punching an Asian. All right. So now, here we go.
That is right, Cheryl. Today, the Dodge County Sheriff said Sundance Sonny Nakvi's story was made up, and he's demanding action accountability for what he calls lies.
Sundance Nakvi was not detained by ICE at any time. She was not transported to Broadview Detention Facility. She was not transported across state lines to Dodge County, by law enforcement anyway. She was not in the custody of the Dodge County Sheriff's Office.
Dodge County Sheriff Dale Schmidt, in his lawsuit, outlining what he calls a hoax allegedly carried out by 28-year-old Sundance Sonny Nakvi. Nakvi's supporter spoke out last month after the Evanston native claimed she was detained at O'Hare Airport by Customs and Border Protection for 30 hours. Her family says she was then sent to the ICE detention facility in Broadview and later transported to a facility in Dodge County, Wisconsin, where they said she was released Saturday, March 7th. According to the lawsuit, Sheriff Schmidt says Nakvi was actually staying at a hotel near O'Hare and allegedly sent text messages from her room.
She checked into the Hampton Inn and Suites in Rosemont, Illinois for the entire duration of this alleged event. Travel from the Hampton Inn and Suites in Illinois to the Holiday Inn Express in Beaver Dam was done to complete this hoax. She scammed a victim out of thousands of dollars in pursuit of this hoax against the federal government.
Yeah. Look, by the way, when you start making victims into hero status, then you're going to get more people wanting to be fucking heroes.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Dumbos that are standing outside of the detention center with signs, because it does incite people to want to pull off more scams like this. Yeah. Because it gets some attention, yeah.
Ro Khanna was getting schooled up by some chick online. I saw it. He's a dope. Obviously another California guy. There's a clip of it somewhere. But the reason I was thinking about that is because of they have a version of things. Like, what I'm saying is like they have their artist rendering of the bridge that goes over the freeway, and they have their artist rendering of the bullet train, and they have their artist rendering of the 7th Street Bridge. That's a happy drawing that you guys made. Like when Mamdani's talking about the supermarkets and stuff, he has drawings of like happy people getting free food and farmers giving stuff. That's a drawing in your head. The reality is going to be an empty store. People are going to be fighting over the last Triscuit, and it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
And you're going to want more money. But Ro Khanna, listen to him. First off, he's dumb. And then secondly, he's getting schooled. But thirdly, his version of the illegals. Like they always do this thing, which drives me insane. Like it's somebody, like someone will go, you'll say, like if you said to a woman or whomever, you go to your roommate, like, hey, let's, you got all your boxes in the living room. Let's just put those boxes away. And then let's just kind of get organized here, because I tripped over a box last night when I came home. And then they go, he wants me to crawl up the flue in the vent above the oven and scrub it with a toothbrush. And I'm like, that's not what no one's ever said that.
Yeah.
No one ever said that. No one ever said, I want to go find law-abiding immigrants that are here illegally, but are paying taxes and working hard and supporting the family, and round them up and disappear them. Nothing's ever said, but that's his. Let's just listen to him try to make sense for 10 minutes.
As a regular, everyday American citizen, I feel that I am more likely to be harmed by democratic policies such as open borders, because in your state,
I'm for secure borders.
Okay,
right.
so but in your state,
he's for secure borders. In his artist rendering of the happy border with the flowers and the happy Mexicans, yes, but you don't do anything. You fight against. The border got secured in 10 minutes after Trump showed up. Why? But he's for it. Mm-hmm. He's for it.
Because
I'm
in your
I'm for
state,
secure borders.
Okay, so but in your state, something like 4,600 or so illegal migrants that had criminal records were re-released from jail. So when we're talking about harming Americans, when we're talking about children potentially being harmed, when we're looking into child trafficking, we have to acknowledge that illegal migration is the biggest funnel for child trafficking. So when we're worried about Epstein with a couple of people, and you guys turn a blind eye to tens of thousands of children being harmed by your policies, that's a problem.
We have been for a secure border, but here's what I want.
No one in California can say that they're for a secure border.
Well, that's a policy I've been pushing for. But let me say this. Instead of having ICE raids in places like Minneapolis killing Americans like Alex Preddy and Renee Good. And doing raids on undocumented folks.
They remember the name of any nut job that got shot by law enforcement. That's always at the tip of their tongue. The hundreds of people that just get stabbed by illegals every year, they never know one of their names. They can't even pronounce them. They've never said it. They always have those two names.
Yeah.
Always, if somebody was killed by law enforcement, they fucking know him up and down and backwards. Wake that guy up in the sleep 5 years from now. Ask him the names of the two guys killed in Minnesota, and he'll tell you the two names. Ask him anybody who's been killed by an illegal.
Yeah.
They'll never know the fucking name.
The good-looking blonde gal on the subway.
Right.
No recollection.
All right, here we go.
Killing Americans like Alex Preddy and Renee Good.
Two people.
And doing raids on undocumented folks here who may be paying taxes and having a restaurant. How about we have the focus on the border to stop
hold on. So
And
ICE
having a restaurant.
They're having a restaurant and paying taxes and having a restaurant. As someone find me a clip of Trump saying, you know what I'm going to do with these ICE officials? I'm going after taxpayers who have restaurants.
Yeah.
All right, keep playing. It's funny.
Terrorists or to stop the gangs or to stop sex trafficking.
All right, hold on. There's 1 million hours of Tom Homan saying these guys, there's terrorists, there's sex traffickers, there's gang members. We need to go into your town and clean these fucking people up. But he wants to know why they're going after restaurant owners and not gang members. So no one's ever said that. Ever. That's they're a broke. What the answer is like, where's he get his information from? It's fucking. All right, so keep going. So
here who may be paying taxes and having a restaurant. How about we have the focus on the border to stop the terrorists or to stop the gangs or to stop sex trafficking?
The border's closed.
If you're worried about sex trafficking, why is your focus on rich people who are committing significantly less sex trafficking crimes? Not saying that they're innocent, but your anger towards this seems very skewed and very hypocritical.
My anger towards them is because they feel like they're above the law, that they
and
use
so do
their
these migrants that get right back out of jail when you guys let them out.
But I am not.
They are above the law. They are at a tier that gets to walk free whenever they want.
I believe that if you've committed a violent crime or a terrible crime in this country, you should face deportation.
But you guys don't do it. You believe it, but you let these people go.
All right, hold on. He believes in a lot of stuff he doesn't do or say ever.
I believe in a clean house. I just don't clean it.
That's right. All right, sorry. Keep going. There's a good part.
Obama had a record of having secured the border, and there were a lot of criminals who were deported. What I don't agree with is what ICE is doing, putting terror in communities. I mean, let me ask you this.
I feel comfortable with ICE around. I'm not a criminal, illegal immigrant, so I feel very comfortable. I'm not terrorized by them, and I'm from New York. Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. If there's an undocumented immigrant here, right, came across without their papers, and they opened a restaurant.
All right, pause. What do you mean without their papers?
Came across, but they forgot them at home.
They forgot to make other plans. They just stumbled across with no papers.
Yeah, man.
It's like sometimes you go to the airport, but you forgot your license, and then you got to call your girlfriend to bring it to you so you can go through security.
These are specific papers that just say they can come to America.
Well, they came here and they forgot their papers.
I'm sorry, I forgot my papers.
But anyway, they opened a restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, I have. They have a restaurant.
By the way, is there one person that's been deported that is this person he speaks
Wait,
of?
did the gangbangers own the restaurants? Is that who were arrested
They
here?
forgot the papers they had. Here we go.
And they've been
Why? Why are they allowed to do that? Why are they taking that place away from someone else?
Right? Let's say they've been here 10 years and they're paying taxes. Do you think ICE should go and try to deport them, or do you think that we should? So we just disagree there. I think
we disagree in that he's an elected official and a lawmaker who doesn't want to enforce the law, and she's some chick from Brooklyn who does want to enforce it, but they disagree. That's where we... what other laws do we disagree on?
At least they're both for border security.
Ro Khanna, I disagree on the 55 speed limit. How about that? I'm an 85 guy.
Yeah.
That's where we disagree. So no law enforcement. So he wants us to shut the border to stop the terrorists from getting in. Except for he left the fucking border open for 4 years, never said a thing, and now the border is shut. So what's he talking about with the border, number one? And then number two, he's invented this person. This is the Maryland dad. You invented this nice guy, forgot his paperwork, starting a thriving business and paying tons of taxes, and then we're going to shut that guy down. Is this what you think this is? And by the way, don't you have any thoughts about how fucking dumb you sound when you speak? Like people film it and then they put it up and then I make fun of you. Like,
yeah, going back to what you said earlier is that sometimes people need to hear what they sound like. Sadly, I think they do know what they sound like and they're okay with it. They just keep rolling with it.
The Nancy Pelosi statue thing. Did we ever find that? I don't know why I am so enamored with that.
Yeah.
Literally someone's asking a person that people are tearing down statues. And you know, she said she's not much of a, she's not nostalgic. Like she doesn't collect stuff. She's not a scrapbooker. And people are doing what they do, which is, running in the streets and burning shit. And by the way, she's from California. In California, if you want to hang up a hummingbird feeder, you got to pull a permit.
Sure.
You want to tear down 7,000 tons of bronze in a park? You're on your own.
Turn into scrap
Just
metal.
Tie that hose to the back of the pickup truck and get a running start. All right, this is great.
The city of Richmond is obviously in sync with your desire to get rid of Confederate statues, but in Baltimore and Little Italy, the statue of Christopher Columbus was removed or taken down. And I wonder if you have anything to share about that.
Well, I'm not a big, I don't even have my grandmother's earrings. I'm not a big, let's see what we have in terms of monuments in this. If the community doesn't want the statue there, the statue shouldn't be there.
Respectfully, shouldn't that be done by a commission or the city council, not a mob in the middle of the night throwing it into the harbor?
People will do what they do.
Jesus fucking Christ, people. You 200. Yeah. All right, but by the way, people will wander through the rotunda on January 6th, bitch. That's just people doing what they do. You don't have feelings about other people doing things. She's not into nostalgia.
Hypocrite. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right. Friday, Phoenix. Rudy's going to be there being funny. Desert Ridge Improv. First show sold out on Friday, but other shows are going good over there. Sunday we're doing as well. I'm going to be everywhere. Rudy will be everywhere too. So just go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. And for Rudy, just go to rudypavichcomedy.com. And until next time, this is Adam for Rudy and Joey saying mahalo.